Every spring, millions of American homeowners spend good money to poison a free food system that nature spent decades trying to build for them. And most of them have absolutely no idea that is what they are doing. Right now, somewhere in your backyard, along your driveway cracks, across your lawn, there are plants growing that most American households spend over $500 a year trying to eliminate. I want you to think about that for a second. $500. Gone. Every year. Not to grow food, not to build soil, not to improve your yard, but to kill plants that are, in many cases, more nutritious than anything currently sitting in your raised beds. Welcome back to Martha's Backyard Farm. I am glad you are here, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we talk about real, practical gardening knowledge every single week, the kind that actually changes how you work with your land. Today, I want to walk you through 6 plants you almost certainly already have growing right now, plus one skill that no seed catalog, no gardening app, and no YouTube video I have ever seen will teach you. By the end of this video, I promise you will never walk past your lawn the same way again. Let me start with number 6, and I want you to really sit with this one because it is probably the most misunderstood plant in America. You know exactly what it looks like. Bright yellow flower, jagged toothed leaves spreading low to the ground, and that white puffball seed head your grandkids blow wishes into. That is dandelion. And before you reach for the weed killer, let me give you some numbers that stopped me cold the first time I looked them up. According to the USDA Food Data Central database, 100 grams of raw dandelion greens, which is roughly a good handful, delivers 649% of your daily vitamin K, 338% of your vitamin A, 58% of your vitamin C, and 39% of your daily iron. A 2014 research study that ranked the 41 most nutritious foods on the planet placed dandelion at number 16, ahead of kale and broccoli. Compared to spinach, dandelion greens contain 237% more vitamin K and 4 times the vitamin C. 4 times. And here is what I find most remarkable as a gardener. That taproot you have been fighting is not your enemy. It drives down 15 to 45 centimeters into compacted soil, acting like a biological drill, breaking up hard layers, and pulling minerals like calcium and potassium up from deep underground to the surface where your other plants can actually reach them. It is doing free soil work that a mechanical aerator cannot replicate. For harvesting, pick the leaves in early spring before the plant flowers, when they are at their sweetest and most tender. Harvest the flowers in the morning, right after they open. The roots, collected in late fall, sell for $12 a bag at health food stores across the country. Now, dandelion is remarkable for vitamins, but number 5 fills a nutritional gap that almost no cultivated garden can touch. That plant is purslane. You have seen it. Thick, succulent-like stems, small, rounded, fleshy leaves hugging close to the ground in a mat. Before you eat it, though, there is one safety check every gardener needs to know. If you snap the stem and see a milky white sap, put it down. That is spurge, and it is toxic. True purslane has a clean break with no sap at all. Purslane is the only land plant on Earth that gives you meaningful omega-3 fatty acids between 300 and 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 gram serving. Most people spend $20 to $30 a month on fish oil capsules for that. Purslane grows it in your garden bed for free. When you harvest, snap stems continuously and always leave at least 2 inches of stem so the plant regrows within days. If you prefer a milder, less tart flavor, harvest in the evening rather than the morning, when the malic acid content is naturally lower. And while your tomatoes are wilting in August heat, purslane is at peak growth. Number 4 is one that I think deserves a lot more respect than it gets. And once you know what to look for, you will start seeing it everywhere. Lamb's quarters. The leaves are blue-green, with a distinctive dusty white coating on the undersides, shaped like a diamond, and that powdery appearance is your key identifier. It is hard to miss once you know it. Now here is what makes this plant genuinely impressive from a nutrition standpoint. Lamb's quarters contains 4.2 grams of protein per 100 grams, raw, more than spinach. It delivers 3 times the calcium of spinach, plus iron, riboflavin, vitamin A, and vitamin C in the same plant. The young leaves are mild enough to eat raw in any salad. The older leaves cook down exactly like spinach. Same texture, same wilt, same behavior in the pan. But here is where it gets interesting from a gardening perspective. You can dry the mature leaves and grind them into a powder that replaces up to 50% of the flour in almost any recipe. The seeds can be cooked into soups and porridge the same way you would use quinoa, which makes sense because lamb's quarters and quinoa are close botanical relatives. Meanwhile, 20 feet away, someone is spending money on spinach seeds, preparing beds, managing slugs, and replanting every single season. Lamb's quarters is doing all of that work for free, without being asked. Now, number 3 is a plant that most people walk right past every single day, and I want to change that. Wood sorrel. Look for heart-shaped leaves growing in clusters of 3, with small yellow or white flowers. Many people assume it is clover. It is not clover. That sour, citrusy bite you get when you chew a leaf comes from oxalic acid, the same compound that makes rhubarb tart, and it is your signal that you are holding one of the better natural sources of vitamin C available in any backyard. What I find most valuable about wood sorrel from a gardening standpoint is where it grows, under trees, along north-facing fence lines, in the shadowed corners of beds, where almost nothing else will survive. It fills the dead zones of your garden with something edible and genuinely useful. And there is a historical reason that matters. Sailors on long ocean voyages did not die from starvation. They died from scurvy, from the absence of fresh plant material and vitamin C. Wood sorrel is exactly the kind of plant that solved that problem, and it is growing in the shaded corners of your yard right now. Number 2 is a plant that the fertilizer industry essentially erased from our collective memory. And I think that is one of the more remarkable stories in American gardening history. Clover. 3-lobed leaves low to the ground, white or red flower heads, growing in almost every untreated lawn across the country. Here is what most people do not know. Research out of Arkansas shows that clover fixes between 100 and 150 pounds of nitrogen per acre every single year. That translates to roughly $60 to $90 worth of synthetic fertilizer that you never have to buy, and it keeps releasing slowly into the soil, season after season, feeding everything around it. Before World War II, clover seed was actually mixed into standard lawn seed bags at about 5% volume, because farmers and homeowners understood that clover fed the grass. Then synthetic nitrogen fertilizers became cheap and widely available, and almost overnight, clover went from being a deliberate ingredient in a healthy lawn to being listed as a weed on herbicide labels. That shift was not based on science. It was based on product sales. Dried red clover flowers sell for $8 to $15 per ounce at herbal retailers today. You can harvest them from your lawn for free all summer long. And in the middle of winter, when your garden is completely dormant, clover seeds sprout indoors in as little as 4 days, giving you fresh living greens without soil, without grow lights, without any setup at all. Everything on this list is genuinely valuable, but what comes next is the one plant that earns the #1 spot for a reason no other plant on this list can match. Chickweed. Small oval leaves, delicate white star-shaped flowers, trailing stems forming dense mats close to the ground. Here is how you identify it with confidence. Look at the stem closely, and you will see a single fine line of tiny hairs running along one side. Every time that line reaches a leaf node, it switches to the opposite side of the stem. No other plant does that. That single detail is your confirmation. Now, chickweed starts growing in February and March in most parts of the country, weeks before your last frost date, weeks before any cultivated vegetable can go outside. That timing is everything. The most vulnerable period in any food garden is late winter into early spring, when stored food is running low and nothing is ready to harvest yet. Chickweed fills that gap with fresh greens that taste mild and clean, similar to baby spinach. For harvesting, Use scissors and cut the top quarter to 1/3 of the plant in the morning before the heat sets in. Leave the base intact and the plant regrows within days. Trim it every 4 to 7 days, and it stays tender and productive all season long. Now I want to share something with you that I have never seen covered in any gardening video. And honestly, this is the part that separates a backyard hobbyist from someone who truly understands their land. Every weed growing in your yard right now is sending you a message about your soil. And once you learn to read those messages, you stop fighting your garden and start working with it. This is what I call reading your land through its weeds. When dandelions are taking over a section of your yard, that is not random. Dandelion thrives in compacted, clay-heavy soil that is low in calcium. The good news is that the dandelion itself is already correcting the problem, driving that taproot down and pulling minerals up to the surface. You do not need to spray it. You need to read it, harvest it, and let it do its work. When you see chickweed and nettles growing densely in a particular area, that soil is telling you it is nitrogen-rich. That is exactly where you want to plant your lettuce, your broccoli, your cabbage, and your other leafy brassicas. The soil is already prepared for them. When clover starts volunteering in your vegetable beds, that is not an invasion. That is your garden telling you the nitrogen is depleted. Instead of pulling it out, let it grow in the spaces between your vegetable plants. Trim it back so it does not shade your main crops, and allow it to rebuild your soil fertility for free. And when wood sorrel appears under your trees and along shaded fence lines, that is a signal of moist, well-aerated soil in a low-light zone. That is where your shade-tolerant plants will thrive. Before I wrap up, I want to address something important, because being a knowledgeable gardener also means being a responsible one. Only harvest from areas you are certain have never been treated with herbicides or pesticides. Avoid picking near roadsides, parking lots, or anywhere with a history of chemical use. Always make positive identification before you eat anything, because some lookalikes are genuinely dangerous, and your backyard is the safest and most reliable place to forage from. Now, step back and look at what we actually have here. 6 plants. Not one of them costs a single dollar. Not one of them requires seeds, prepared soil, irrigation, or specialized knowledge beyond what you have learned today. Together they deliver omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, complete protein, calcium, iron, natural nitrogen fertility, and fresh greens from February through late fall. The food system we have been protecting our lawns for, the grocery supply chain, the seed catalogs, the synthetic fertilizer inputs, that is, the fragile one. These weeds have survived every drought, every frost, every economic shift, and they will be here long after the supply chain has its next disruption. So here is what I want you to do this week. Before you pull a single thing out of your yard, stop and look at it first. You might be pulling your dinner. If you have eaten any of these plants before, I genuinely want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below and tell me which one and how you used it. And if you want to go deeper, the next video covers the 8 cultivated crops that work best alongside this kind of foraging system, and why most survival gardens completely miss the one crop that matters most. I will see you there.